Bachmann HO-gauge 80-ton 3-truck Shay is a great replica of the original Baldwin Shay, as evidenced by this restored and running Baldwin Shay at the Yosemite Mountain Sugar Pine Railroad. True to the design of the original Shay, the Bachmann model uses bevel gears on the 3 drive shafts that run along the side of the engine's trucks. Bachmann gears are made of plastic and are known for braking. Bachmann no longer offers replacement parts for this engine, but fortunately, a company called Northwest Shoreline makes steel replacement bevel gears for this engine, and they come in sets of 6 gears, 1 for each wheel. While Northwest instructions are well written and nicely illustrated, I found an easier way to replace the gears, and I wanted to share it with you. Each of the drive wheels are fitted with a bevel gear that mates into the gears on the drive shafts. The gears are about twice the size of a BB, so you'll want to work over some kind of tray to keep the parts from finding their way to the floor and getting lost. The plastic gears on the Bachmann engine are held in place by splines stamped onto the drive shafts. With wear and tear, the original gears either break and fall out or stay in place and just spin freely on the splines. Follow Northwest instructions carefully to remove the front coupler and to bend up the gear covers. Northwest's instructions suggest that you pull or push the drive shafts out of the trucks, position the new steel gears in place, put the drive shafts back into the trucks, and then force the drive shafts back into the steel gears, either by hand or with needle nose pliers. And it is here that I found a problem. The shafts are 46,000th of an inch diameter, and the gears have a 46,000 hole. The problem comes trying to press the non-hardened drive shaft with its splines that are about 7 to 8 thousandths oversized into the steel gears. It just can't be done, at least not without the risk of damaging the trucks and the drive shafts. Instead of pulling the drive shafts out of the trucks as Northwest suggests, I found that the covers, which are actually the drive shaft bearing blocks, can be easily snapped off of the trucks. In this way, you can assemble the drive shaft and gears separate from the trucks, drop the drive shafts back in place, and then snap in the drive shaft covers. All of your hammering and forcing gears around is done away from the trucks and delicate parts. To remove the covers, place a small flat screwdriver under the covers and pry up gently on them, prying a little at each end. The covers are held in place by 2 round protrusions that are cast in the covers and go into the trucks. So you want to lift them straight up so that you don't break or damage either 2 protrusions. Since the gears fit so tightly into the drive shafts, the splined areas must be reduced in size so they're only 1 or 2 thousandths larger than the diameter of the shaft. I reduced the diameter of the spline parts of the drive shafts by placing the drive shafts in a drill and filing down the splines with a flat needle file while the drive shafts are rotating. Takes a bit of trial and error, but it works. I made a small steel block and drilled a 46,000th hole, which is a number 55 drill bit, through it to allow me to drive the axle through the gear with the steel block acting as a support so I could move the gear to its final position. If I had to move it the other way, I rested the gear on a pair of needle nose pliers to act as a support and then tapped the drive shaft with the hammer. I also drilled a 3/16 recess into the steel block so that I could lay a gear over the recess and be able to drive the drive shaft through the gear until just a tiny part of the drive shaft protruded from the other side of the gear. Then I could place the protruding part of the drive shaft into this 46,000th hole and drive the drive shaft in further. The drive shafts are not hardened, so it is easy to bend them during hammering. If they bend, you can easily straighten them. The way they fit in their respective bearings gives some leeway to the drive shafts being perfectly straight. The critical thing to do is to get the bevel gears in the right place and the precise distance apart on the drive shafts. This is important so that the 2 bevel gears properly engage and mesh with the bevel gears on the wheels. Both gears on the drive shaft must be 645 thousandths apart, and they must be carefully located over the original splined areas on the drive shafts so that the universal joints that attach to the extremities of the drive shafts will go on far enough to have sufficient grip. And when you push the drive shaft universal joints on, ensure that they are far enough on to prevent any side play in the drive shaft. Hope this helps.